I feel like the way that this video needs to start is the way that I remember this particular show starting. Where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? In this video, we're going to be talking about Netflix's Carmen Sandiego versus what I remember seeing when I was growing up, Carmen Sandiego. As many people probably know and may have already seen by now, Netflix came out with basically a rebirth of the character of Carmen Sandiego. And overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed finding the little Easter eggs that they hid within that connected it to what already exists. But at the same time, there are things that I'm not fully convinced on. I'm going to go ahead and say this now, so I don't forget to say it later, that I could potentially be spoiling some things. So if you have not seen any of the things that are related to Carmen Sandiego, whether that is this new Netflix show, that is Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego, which was also linked to a game that was out in like the 90s, or even the game show Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. If you have not done anything related to Carmen Sandiego ever, it is not my responsibility to make sure that I'm keeping secrets from you, because some of this stuff has been out for over 20 years. So I grew up watching the animated cartoon that was Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego. In that, you have your lead characters, because you are technically, as a viewer, you are player. You have Zach and Ivy, who are the two characters that you get to play as in this world of Carmen Sandiego, and you're helping them try to stop Carmen from stealing different things. I guess you could say the one thing that all of these things, the game show, the cartoon I remember as a kid, and this new cartoon that Netflix has released, things that all of those things agree on, is that Carmen is a thief. Now we get an origin story as to why Carmen is the thief that she is in this new cartoon. But she's stealing from Vile, which, if I remember correctly, that is the company that she worked for. So I don't know how the jumping at the back and the forth is. Because in this new cartoon, like, she gets trained by Vile and then decides to steal from Vile to make sure that things go back. Which is all fine and dandy. I like this little change of heart. I don't have an issue with it. It just doesn't work for what already exists, if that makes sense. In this new cartoon, you do have a Zach and Ivy who help Carmen. You also have a player who is helping Carmen. And that's all that she knows this kid by. And it's all that we as an audience know this kid by. We're not given an actual name for this character other than player. He's a white hacker that's trying to, use his skills for good, which is one of the inspirations that Carmen has for why she does what she does. She's using her skills for good, and the skill sets that she has is she can steal things very well. You have an array of professors that is what has taught Carmen all that she knows. The way that one of the professors, the way that he's drawn out, he looks like a very posh version of Chief from the cartoon that I remember as a kid. We do get introduced to Acme in this new cartoon, and the Chief of Acme, the way that they have designed that character from a physical standpoint reminds me a lot of the game show. So there's that little plug-in. Still, you have that layer of educational aspect of knowing why these particular artifacts are important and just different pieces of culture, because at one point we get to see the opera Carmen play a part in this storyline. You also get to see the Sydney Opera House. You have that too. You're getting to see all these different geographical things, which is what makes Carmen Sandiego so great, and that's really what the educational side of it is all about geography and history blended in together. Put it in a bunch of action pack. Makes it way more interesting than just reading a history book or watching a documentary, in my opinion. Oh, the theme song. Let's let's quickly talk about the theme song. I understand why the theme song is the way that it is, because, you know, new modern audience, you gotta make it match new modern stuff. I don't like it. I don't know. I can't put my finger on exactly like why it is that I don't like it, but I'm not a big fan of this new theme song. You have the rockapella rendition that has so many puns packed inside it. Then you have the fanfare-ish version from the 90s, possibly before that, I don't exactly remember, cartoon that I remember watching growing up. But it definitely has different twists and turns, and the way that things end with the first season set things up for a very open potential of a second season. So hopefully it does well, so we do get a second season, because I would like to see where they are taking this, because I would love to see maybe Carmen turn again, because clearly she turned once. It's possible to turn twice. It's not always common with the way most stories are told, but it is possible that she could turn again. And I would like to see it, just so that way it fits in with what already exists. But if it doesn't, and if that's not their plan, would like to see a little bit more and understand a little bit more about the motivations of this particular Carmen Sandiego. I'll be curious to see how the character of Player develops. To an extent, he slightly reminds me of Wade from Kim Possible, but you're not getting a whole, like, there's lacking in a bit of, oh, you know, here's this cool thing that you can use. Like, oh, magically Carmen just has all of these gadgets. Like, where did she get them from? Did Player provide them? Or like, yeah, you know, it would just been nice to know. But that's just me. I recommend checking it out if you haven't already, especially if you enjoyed Carmen Sandiego as a child. Like, do it. It's worth it. They're like 30-minute episodes. Totally have enough time. You can knock it all out in one night. I did. That's it for me. I will see you next video. Bye.